Welcome to the Nerd Party.
I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
And this is City Alpha 3. Welcome to City Alpha 3, a Star Trek podcast here on the Nerd Party Network. I am Darren Moser, joined as always by my fellow Strandies, Philip Gilfus and Daniel Prue. Gentlemen, have you been to the Vineyard lately?
I feel like it sounds like something out of the Matrix. Have you been to the Vineyard?
Yes, it's a ghost space between lands where people quote unquote retire from Starfleet Academy. There are drones and there are grapes and there are drones
and boots. We see some boots.
That's right. Beards.
And of course, we're talking about the Star Trek Picard. Shocked it's called that. I can't even believe it. Of course, that's what we said it would be called. Star Trek Picard teaser bit. We've gotten the trailer for the trailer for the trailer.
So here's a question, guys.
And we see...
What's going to be the shorthand for the series? Are we just going to call it Star Trek Picard? Are we going to call it Picard? Are we going to hashtag PIC? Doesn't seem like that's a good one. STP doesn't really jive either. I think just Star Trek Picard, right?
Yeah, I think shorthand, because we need 3 letters to describe it. I think it'll be PIC.
I mean, hey, Discovery is STD, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
No, it's
DIC.
No, it's not. None of the
right.
3 letters use ST because that's implied. So I think it's got to be.
I don't like it. I mean, I agree.
Or
like if that's the formatting of every show, every single show.
But what about PCD?
I feel like it's a little better. I feel like we need to have a memo.
Is there a Jean-Luc Picard here?
I almost feel like the Picard show is about as short as anything else.
It makes me think of like the Dick Van Dyke show, where it's like just the such and such show. It's like, and Patrick Stewart
the Picard show.
The Picard show.
So he didn't get a line in his teaser.
Nope, they Luke Skywalker'd him.
Yeah.
We had random automated female voiceover.
Random ensign,
But we can start
speculating
some suppositions and speculation and assume that the voiceover is talking about. Oh, by the way, he did not take Captain Kirk's dying advice.
No.
And he
people often don't.
Yeah,
that's the sad
fair.
thing. But so what do you think is the big tragedy? Because she says you led us through our darkest hour, and
it's got to be
before you lost everything.
It's got to be Romulus.
Well, I was going to say,
right?
what's the timeline? Remind me. Is this pre or post Romulus?
This is post
Romulus.
I mean, I'm pretty sure too, but I just want to get on the same chart here.
Well, and someone pointed out that the voiceover could be that Romulan senator that he interacted with a lot in Nemesis.
Oh,
but
okay.
Well, she would have had known him for a while because he got promoted since they last spoke with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is the destruction of Romulus that big of enough of
was
event
it Alex
to...
or someone? I think it was Alex, and maybe a month ago that was like Romulus was mentioned in the premise of like dealing with the effects, or this will have an effect on it. Romulus was mentioned.
I mean, I'm game with that. I mean, it's a really interesting shift. You have this kind of Cold War superpower that, I mean, it's basically what, Star Trek 6 again? Yeah. I'm not in a direct way, but like that was supposed to be the thing we were feeling. Oh, we're going to actually be friends with the Klingons now.
So
they were always antagonistic.
And the Nemesis sort of broke down the wall. And at least talks are beginning, but...
Yeah. Mr. Praetor, tear down this space wall.
I think they just blew up the Praetor, so that's pretty much...
My question is, okay, so they briefly mentioned this big event that happened,
right.
and then...
Right.
But it's
in the vaguest way possible.
Right, but the big crux of what they're talking about is that something else happened. Some sort of fallout.
Like he lost
Well, it said there was a big
right.
rescue, right? You were involved in the biggest... something like that, and then...
Right.
Yeah,
but then something must have happened that he disagreed with, which, I mean, obviously they'll fill out that context later. I'm not too worried about that. But I'm like, what could happen in that chain of events that would cause him to leave Starfleet, make him so upset? I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Well,
I have no idea.
this is what my hopes and you know what my Star Trek hopes of the recent decade have been like. Dashed is the answer, but my hope is like my worry about this Picard show is similar to 15 years ago at this point. Goodness, the first Captain America movie, because I've always been a big Captain America guy, and similar vein to Captain Picard of moralistic.
They both have the name
moralistic figures, right? That they stand for these things, and you worry that in this 21st century storytelling, it's all. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it's all gritty reboots, blah blah blah. And you're like, well, what are you gonna do? So like when Captain America movie came out, I'm like, okay, please don't. And then it was like, oh, okay. But then it was like, oh, let's do the World War II. The second movie, let's see how he does in the modern world. But then I think maybe my hope is kind of how Winter Soldier is almost similar to this premise, because it's, refreshing the values of the character. So Captain America had to deal with, having to not follow orders, and is he the government, or is he the values of the country? And that's dichotomy. And so with Picard, it's that you lost faith with us, blah blah blah. So as long as this is about like him, refreshing the values and not some sort of like, dystopian, insurrection or something. I mean, that's what I'm cool with. That's a fine line of how to walk that.
Well, my question, if we're going to follow that line to its logical conclusion, Philip, does that mean Riker's going to be running around with a metal arm working for the Tel Shiar or something like that?
No.
He's been frozen.
It'd probably be someone from Stargazer who he thought was dead.
Yeah,
no.
True, yeah.
No. Guys, the most obvious answer. Who died?
Jack
Who
Crusher.
died?
Oh, Jack Crusher.
Well, I was going to go Data.
Oh, well, he does have a metal arm.
Yep.
He's got two, actually.
And, he's been dead for 25 years.
Is this gold sun? No, it's a duotronic alloy made out of... Yes,
he
gold.
catches Picard's communicator in his hand.
I wonder how they're going to...
Why is he throwing...
Well, the Captain America shield.
I don't think they quite equate.
It will, Darren.
Okay. You're stretching.
And then at the end, we'll be like Admiral Janeway and be like, ready for one more mission.
I've hatched for no good reason. Like, really, they couldn't give you a prosthetic eye? He's like, no.
Oh, well, fine.
I must feel my
She
pain.
has a visor. Are you happy? Admiral Janeway has a visor.
No, it's a one visor. It just goes over one eye.
So it's just cocked like sideways.
It looks like that would look ridiculous, Daniel. Obviously, it looks like a visor cut in half, just going over one eye. What you're proposing is utter ludicrous. But I'm interested. I think, it tells us absolutely nothing and barely gives us some looks at a little bit of Starfleet uniforms ish, which look kind of cool. Kind of going back Voyager DS9-ish with the colored shoulders. They haven't gone full colored pips yet, so there's still room to improve.
Yeah, but, and look, this is always going to be a tough thing to do, but not that they have to per se, but they are sort of establishing, and I'm using hand quotes, canon of the future. So All Good Things. He was back at the Vineyard. And so it was interesting because when I first saw this, I was on Instagram. When I saw the video capture, and I thought, because I'd also seen, this is the All Good Things anniversary, so I thought it was just like a scene from All Good Things, and I didn't realize it's the new teaser trailer. So I was like, oh, okay. It
seems really unlikely, but I wonder if it's actually probably just all CGI, I imagine, in the teaser.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they went back to the same
I don't even know where
location
was.
To shoot. Yeah, I can't. It's obviously somewhere
California, one would think.
Right. Yeah. But I'm really liking your optimistic possible hopefulness for this situation, because if this turns out to be Captain Picard's Winter Soldier, that would be pretty fantastic, I'll say.
Yeah.
And hey, we've got some really good talent on the writing team here, so it's definitely possible.
Winter is here, so it's time to ignite the fire in which time burns.
Mission report, star date, whatever. Yeah.
Star date 1996.
And he has to steal his old uniform from the museum. It'll be awesome.
And then Boothby's there going, I'm so going to get fired.
Good
That
Lord.
would be great.
But no, I think it's interesting.
LaForge shows up and says, someone give that man an Earl Grey tea.
Are you saying that LaForge is the king of Wakanda now?
I'm not saying.
Is that...
He's the king of novelists.
No, that makes sense. Well, today we are setting our Wayback Machine to 1996. Star Trek is live and poppin'. The UPN network is the juggernaut that's never going to be stopped with its amazing show lineups. And Star Trek Communicator is on shelves everywhere because how else would you get your Star Trek news? Certainly not on the fledgling World Wide Web.
AOL chat rooms.
Yep.
Okay, maybe username.
Mom, get off the phone!
Yes,
Welcome.
those are the only ways. You could go to http://StarTrek.msn.com to find out everything you wanted to know. Yes. But no, what I wanted to do today, now, and I will preface this ahead of time, that I do realize there is a thing such as StarTrek.com and Memory Alpha and Wikipedia and even the current Star Trek magazine that do still exist. But I want to look back, and we are going to revitalize Star Trek Communicator,
The next generation.
For nostalgia's sake. Really, that's the only reason people do anything nowadays. They bring back old properties. So Star Trek Communicator 2019 Summer Edition. First off the bat, before we even talk about anything, what pewter figures are we going to be able to get out of this magazine?
Nobody tell Larry Nemechek that we're stealing his property. It reminds me, because I do, the only pop culture magazine I subscribe to is Doctor Who Monthly, and I get it on my tablet. But one of the big things about Doctor Who magazine, which of course has been going on for decades, but they'll always have, with the new Doctor, Jodie would be like, Jodie Whittaker is the Doctor. It's always like the big thing, blank is the Doctor. And so I feel like for this inaugural reboot issue, it should be like, Jean-Luc Picard is the Captain. And it's sort of like, the new Picard
or Patrick
show.
Stewart is Picard. Or maybe it could be like, he's back, kind of in a Dumbledore... or not Dumbledore, it's...
you could do Gandalf.
Voldemort. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Gandalf, yeah. But no, it's all about... Yeah, so it's the His Back episode is going to launch our title as we bring
90s
it back.
Trek, bringing back 90s magazine.
We have 74 color pages to feel.
Hang on.
With a full-length pull-out poster of...
Oh, yeah, pull out
retired
posters,
Admiral Picard.
And we could even put a CD-ROM in the back if we really wanted to give some awesome content.
Everyone will come with a free AOL CD.
Oh, wait, what do you have to say, David?
I'm just confused. We're talking a lot about this, and, well, clearly you guys hate the planet. But, Philip, you're subscribed to an actual magazine right now in 2019?
Yeah, I get it on my tablet, so electronic magazine.
Oh, okay. See, that's very, very different.
Well, I also get Vanity Fair.
Do they call it an e-mag?
I get it on the tablet, but I also get a hard copy, but my wife takes the hard copy, and she enjoys that.
This is a foreign concept to me. I haven't even seen a magazine. I mean, I suppose I probably have in passing, like at the mall, but I don't think I've held a magazine.
It's like a brick with words, but it's
it's
not
thinner. It's not really a
and
brick as much as sort of like a
leaf with words,
like a heavy leaf.
A really
heavy leaf.
Yeah, okay.
Like in Zelda.
Okay. I know there's no magazines in Zelda.
Mm-hmm. But then there's lots of things in Zelda that we don't have in the real world, Daniel. We've had this conversation
that's true.
about you and your pottery smashing.
There's got to be some money in there. Why else would they have all these pots?
I mean, just because there's no bank. Everyone just keeps the rupees in pots and sometimes tall grass. Yep. But no, I remember, again, part of this is for just the let's look at it this way. In the anniversary of Back to the Future 2, USA Today actually released a special edition of that paper from Back to the Future 2, where it's like, old man, stops, or people fall in the lake, and basically it was pseudo real, talking about that, the events from that movie, in the future font, and all the logo was different, and it was cool. So what if we did that? What if this is a one-time only special communicator, but it's like we're pulling it back from 1996, to with all of its glory. I was serious. What pewter action figures do we need? I mean, do we have the Discovery now because we need all the ships?
We have to, of course.
Yeah. We could have the cleave ship, so you could cut yourself on it. It could be like a letter opener. I want
the future figure of the Captain Pike in the Enterprise command chair with either beard or beardless Spock. I'll let you choose, standing next to him.
Okay. Maybe a commemorative plate
of
that.
I think, how can you not have it?
And I would definitely take the cutaway poster of the Discovery, so we could actually see like the inside.
Do you want one of the articles to be inside
like
the Discovery blueprints?
Yes, that is like the
Is
the
this
big,
what this
big
whole
font
thing's about,
on the
Darren?
cover.
Is that you want to revive a 30-year-old magazine?
I'm not saying you're
just
wrong.
so you can have Discovery
I'm not saying
blueprints.
You're wrong.
The problem is they would have the cutaway, and there would just be question marks all over the place.
No,
it'd be all cloudy,
or it'd be redacted out by Section 31.
It would just be included with like special pens and a blank page. It's like, write your own.
Yeah,
it's the outline of the ship.
Brigand.
It's just like, do it yourself.
Darren gets this magazine and rips open the plastic, tries to find the page. He's like, I want to finally figure out why the saucer spins. Why does it spin? And you get to that page, and it's just blank, redacted.
Yeah,
redacted.
Section
It's
31.
like, it's like redacted by section. It's like, dang it, Section 31. I hate you even more now.
Does your evil know no bounds?
Okay, so we'll get our cutaway section.
And there's the two variant covers. One will have the Captain Pike Enterprise, and one will have the Saru and Discovery, and you can actually connect the two covers with these two.
Are they going to be holographic?
But they're really far away, so you could put them on opposite sides of the table.
Just the logo, just like the text at the top. Yeah, but I was saying that the front of the magazine always has the biggest thing in print, which is going to be like he's back about Picard, but then just slightly smaller cutaway of the Discovery found, restored from Memory Alpha. But no, I was just one of the cool things I liked about when I was looking through this. They had a couple little sections talking about like where are they now kind of things, talking about
Patrick Stewart
back in 1986. We know where. Okay, that's that's beyond the point. We know where he is. He's back. That's the big thing on
Jonathan
the cover.
Frakes,
Do I need
I wish
to draw
he'd work
you
on
a
Star Trek
diagram?
again.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, he's also. Oh, okay.
But no, we were reminiscing slightly before recording the glory that was Homeboys in Outer Space, which apparently James Doohan was on for a
hot minute.
I'm surprised that's only lasted a season on UPN, the juggernaut that UPN was in 1996. But no, I think that would be cool to see what directing projects Trek is on. Trek alumni are on. What's Robbie W. Meal working on? What's who's going to be next on the Orville as a cameo? I mean, that could be a little blurb section. Maybe it's like upside down. You have to turn over the page.
It's actually went for the because I feel like this first issue, and maybe it's the only issue, it has the Picard, but I feel like the second one will be looking back at Discovery Season 2. But if you turn the magazine upside down, it's actually a mirror issue cover on the back. So
Oh, so you if you open it up along the spine, you would see. Well, first you would see your credit card, MasterCard, Star Trek.
That's right.
With the Discovery or Enterprise on it. I mean, that's of course what you would see at the back, with a toll-free number, and not a website in sight. But because they don't exist really in 1996. But no, I liked always how these also had. You had your ad for the cruise, Star Trek cruise. Which is still going on.
Got
to talk about that. Which is still going on. So that'd be legitimate.
So I looked at the price, which is, it cost, obviously. But it's like, when then you think about a con, air travel, hotel, the actual con price. I mean, I'm not saying it's completely comparable, but, cruise, there's a lot going on. So, it costs, and obviously, if you don't have the money, forget about it. But it's slightly tempting. It is slightly tempting, I will say. I will say, in the next 5 years, I will look at it closer, because my wife said she was interested, so we'll see. We'll see. I think the hard part is, not only do you buy the cruise thing, or the package, whatever, but you got to fly to, or you have to go to wherever the port is, so Florida or something, so sort of.
So Daniel, what hot piece of merchandise do we need to make sure is included in the beginning of our lucrative middle section that talks about not only the digital bedside clocks, but the keychains and the autographed plates?
What's going to complete your collection, Daniel?
Well, it's obviously they're going to have disco shirts. They're going to have 12 disco shirts that you can buy.
12 disco shirts, got it. Disco time.
What I would want them to do.
There you go, digital watch, and it says it's disco time.
Nice.
And then on the hour, it plays "Staying Alive."
Okay, maybe not so much that. What I would obviously want for this issue would be an actual chance to buy Chateau Picard wine.
Oh,
because nothing sells alcohol then across state lines. But go ahead.
Hey, whatever. We're bringing magazines from the dinosaur age. Why can't I do whatever I want?
And it could start off with a little section talking about how it was not Chateau Picard used in the christening of the Enterprise B. Like everyone thinks it was, because if it's a bottle of wine, it's got to be Chateau. There's literally no other vineyards. They are, just like... Taco Bell winning the franchise wars in Demolition Man. Chateau Picard owns the market of wine.
So it's like thinking of ads, not to interrupt you, Daniel. So like for the upcoming Picard series, we have to have collector cups. So what restaurant is getting the Picard show merchandise?
Oh gosh, the collector glasses. Like the four
like
collectible
Hardee's,
glasses.
In the old days would actually be plastic.
Oh man,
with glass I don't know. So.
Instead, now they'll just give you the plans, and you can 3D print them on your own.
Oh, there you go. Just make sure you use food safe plastic for when you 3D print, and the bottom may not hold, but But besides that, that's a great idea. No, I also liked how you had a lot of, a lot of different. Articles, talking about behind the scenes, and DVDs weren't a thing yet, so you didn't have really a place for behind the scenes. You'd maybe have that one special every now and again, but I think it'd be cool to get like a really nice like DS9. Not. I know we just talked about what we left behind, but like actual like taking us through an episode. And like seeing, how it was shot or how they put things together, well, kind of like the documentary we got for Trouble and Tribulations or things like that. Well,
it'd be interesting. You'd have to pick your shows. So, like, just 3 random episodes from the 90s. From different series. So, like, in other words, in DS9 documentary, we saw them break, quote unquote, break an episode of, season 8, episode 1. So it'd be interesting to see what the writing room dynamics were like in the other shows. So, like, how would a Voyager story be done? And then how would an Enterprise story be done? So, like, who are the writers in the room? And, talk, maybe they have an old picture of what their whiteboard looked like or whatever they had. And so.
Okay. Yeah, that could be cool. Just, like, showing, You have all the men in the Star Trek 1966, and there's 0 women. Oh,
well,
wait,
I think DC was, but
that's true. Well, they also had a cool article. I'm actually referencing a couple of Star Trek communicators I have. This is issue 113 from August, September 97, and it's talking about the evolution of the Enterprise E, and it talks about like how they designed it and how it used to look like a turkey before they fixed the sweeping cells. Have you seen that, Daniel?
No, I don't think I have.
So initially, the nacelles swept the pylons swept forward, and it was all cool until they looked at it from the top, and it looked like a turkey.
Oh, I like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Like a Thanksgiving turkey.
I was thinking it looked like the actual bird, and I was
that's the scimitar.
I was assuming
that's the
it
scimitar.
looks like a child's handprint, and they put the bridge on the thumb.
They always put the bridge out there in the most vulnerable spot. So.
Well, it's not like they're putting a giant plate window in front of the. Oh no, they did end up doing that, but no, that'd be cool to see the evolution of the Discovery, especially since we know, what we saw in that kind of early teaser shot, that the design changed a little bit between then and actual production. And maybe a blueprint or two could be thrown in. I don't know. Maybe not. It's just what I want. But I know I always like that behind the scenes stuff. Okay, so who are we getting an interview with? I mean, this can't be one of the captains. It's got to be like a level 2 or 3 at best.
I'm sure they appreciate the description.
Like, this is a Robert Beltran
a number
article,
2 at best. No,
I hate this show. I hate this job. I don't want to do it anymore.
He was only in the second season or first season at that point, so I'm sure he was still optimistic. But
I mean, are we getting?
What I would like is, it's sort of one of those like GQ or something where you have multiple people being interviewed. So it's sort of like the, you have the question and then like the 2 or 3 bull type.
Oh, okay, yeah, and then it says like their last name and
the Discovery
which paragraph
bridge
corresponds
crew,
to their
whose names
response.
I don't know. But the bridge crew people.
We're not supposed to know their ranks because they just went around
yeah.
without
but even
ranks,
their real names.
But...
who I follow some of them on Twitter.
Okay.
But yeah.
So we maybe just call back to that line Pike said. What did he say?
Taking roll call.
Just go around the. Yeah, roll call. Call it roll call, and then have a little diagram layout of the bridge.
Who sits
and
where?
You can have their names on who sits where, and then take us around. That would be cool because we know pretty much all their names. I mean, we do now, and kind of a little R.I.P. Merriam moment, and
then stay tuned next month issue
Ariel,
where we have a tale of 2 droids. Well, they'll interview both the women who played Lieutenant Commander. What's her face? Yeah,
Ariam. Yeah,
Robo Lady.
Yep.
That Robo Lady. Yes, and where we haven't seen Tactical Helmet Lady in like a while. That was like Battle of the Binary Stars.
But I think
cool.
one other ship had it, didn't it? I don't know. They all come together. Another Starfleet ship we see had their own.
I think so. I think it's been seen more than just that. But let's see. Are there any anniversary? Oh, look, guys! Star Trek: The Experience.
Oh man.
Maybe remembering article, remembering Star Trek: The Experience and the joy that it was.
Star Trek: The Experience Borg Invasion.
Yes,
because I have a poster of it right here on my wall that I still have.
That would be interesting, and then they could transition that into Star Trek Las Vegas, talking about the conventions and the last, maybe capturing on the 50th anniversary, and so again, we're going for that 96 vibe, but we're obviously talking about current, events. But what other sections are we missing, Daniel? I mean, set that Wayback Machine in your mind.
I got to be honest with you, Darren, and I don't mean to poo-poo your idea here, but you're talking to the wrong person. I have zero nostalgia for anything magazine related. So you're talking about interviews with multiple people.
But I mean, when you hold the pages up to your nose and you're like, my nostalgia's not that deep.
You're talking about interviews with multiple people, and I'm like, I don't want to read that. I'll just watch the YouTube video.
No, print is the only way.
You know,
the only way we can get this.
So, one thing they have in Doctor Who Monthly is
best Q episodes. Why did it match the Q title to the
game.
plot? Like a little game.
I've already answered it. The answer is fries. But like the Doctor Who Monthly has a Doctor Who comic. So like now it's the 13th Doctor. So it's about 6 or 8 pages of comic of Doctor's Adventures.
Okay.
So you could do the current Star Trek comics. So you could have Discovery characters if you wanted. But even I'm just thinking just sort of fictional stuff. Like you could have the latest from Jake Sisko. His a short story by Jake Sisko or something you could be including in there. Or other sort of fictional inside the world elements.
I like the idea of like a short treks, but
the EMH's hollow photography collection.
Yeah, in printed form. That would be really cool. And a neat way to like revisit characters or storylines, or even introduce new ones. That would be fun. I could get.
You can even have because the Enterprise on the Enterprise they took pictures. I remember them like Trip and Archer would land and they would pose for photos. So
we could have an article of people playing their descendants and have, or other. So you have like Robert Picardo playing the Doctor and Zimmerman, and then you could have Data playing Soon and Lore and Before and Young Soon.
Who article about
and Ancestor Soon.
I think we could have sort of articles, and this would be up Daniel's alley of sort of a versus article. So it's always like this character versus this character, but like this is my first pitch.
So Q is pitting two people against each other.
Like my first pitch is who is the bigger sports fan? Archer with water polo or Sisko with baseball? And you'd have different criteria and see where they landed.
So then if you mail a self-return address 8x5 card to
Just stop, Darren. Just stop.
That's how else would they get the information in, Daniel? That's the only way to get it to our
kids.
magazine.
Ask your parents' permission.
Darren wants to kill all the trees, every single tree.
Who will speak for them?
Okay, we'll release it as an ebook, Daniel, if that'll make you happy, but with 0 links. Nothing gets out of this.
Well, much like the changelings, the link can be a lot of trouble.
I would love to see an article or a play experience talking about the great interactive VCR board game, a Klingon challenge, like experiencing Bij, or we could go even farther back to these newfangled video games and talk about holding shift down for what was that? Something Journey?
It's all
what was the
Journeys.
name of that game?
Hang on. Can we talk about, and I don't know, this just popped into my head while you were saying that, Darren, but let's talk about a reboot of the interactive Klingon board game with Takuvma as the guy on board.
Oh, wow.
but not Takuvma.
That's right.
He's not a Maj. He's a Faj.
His name is Ash.
It's totally
and
different.
He's now on the... Oh, no, that's different.
I was actually thinking, I'm like, we could do Ash. I'm like, Ash would be terrible, but Takuvma would be pretty cool.
So let's see. So instead of Takuvma, it could be Kuvma Ta.
There you go.
Boom! Totally saved you some writing credits.
And throughout the game, you'll notice he's suddenly changing appearance subtly. Like his head was like up here,
okay,
and then now
later
he has hair.
Okay, so I've used some of your human transporters to transport the entire crew onto the Basics planet. That's what we're calling it now, the Basics planet. Only a few survivors apparently remained on the USS Voyager to stop me. But in 1 hour, one of your Earth hours, I will be, I don't know, somewhere bad, and you must stop me.
But like it tricks you. Spoiler alert for the VCR game. It's actually not an hour. But what happens is when you start start playing the game, it's subtitled, and he's talking like this so much. But when the 30 minutes hits, the subtitles disappear, and he starts talking English and faster. So,
There you go. Nice. A little skill he was holding in his pocket.
Yes, Bach, and you're like, this is like 30 minutes? Okay, all right.
What is that first one? He says, like, I kind of still remember it. It's like Klingon Ak. Like, he's basically like, do you speak Klingon? Yeah. I don't know. I watch that tape a lot, guys. Sometimes when not even playing the game. Just to be honest.
Intervention.
Like, it's like, got a new VCR, guys. Let's test it out. What do we put in? VCR board game. I want to see Not Galron hijack the Enterprise, just like in 11001001, apparently. So,
see, I feel like one of your favorite articles, Darren, would be reused Discovery sets. Can you figure out which one was reused?
Of course, we'll have the models, because that's what's kind of cool is actually looking through. There's a lot of stuff that's still there. Like, we still have Star Trek models. We still have, magazines and merchandise. I think, again, a lot of this stuff has moved to the web.
All of it.
Rightly so.
I.e., all of it.
Okay, all of it has moved to the web, so we don't kill the trees, the precious trees.
I mean, the magazine format still has cool stuff. In other words,
if you can't call it an e-zine, is it really a magazine for the 20th century?
But it's like even StarTrek.com, nothing against them. But I mean, like, they have articles, but that's about it. I mean,
what you mean StarTrek.msn.net?
Because
right?
they don't capitalize on the visual as much because it's written. I would say would be their focus. And I think most of the other things, like, because I mean, the magazine. I mean, I'm not telling you anything people don't know here. Magazine is a visual thing. I mean, yes, there's articles, but the thing about it's glossy pages. We want you to show the posters. We want to show you the photos. We want to show you and so it's actually very little copy, like the way it's structured. I mean, it's like a newspaper.
True.
But so yeah, I mean, it would be those cool pictures, those cool design, blueprints, those, the actors, the promotionals, the cool stuff. That would be what we would want it for.
I want to get my Saru cardboard cutout because that guy's gonna be tall. I'm barely going to fit him inside.
No, I think
room.
when they have they sort of, centerfolds is probably not the best word, but that's what it is. The centerfold for all these things, it'd be Saru, but it'd be like 3 extra pages as a normal centerfold, just because of how tall he is. So, so.
No, I'm talking about the, life-size
order
cardboard
cutouts. To get your Discovery Enterprise checks. Is that what it is? I mean, you use checks all the time, so Daniel, don't you? I mean, don't you want some Enterprises on there?
I don't know what year this is anymore. I'm so confused.
Well, you don't.
I stumbled into the old man podcast. I guess I'm not sure.
And at the very end, you have your MasterCard with the Enterprise on it.
Yeah,
that makes it all.
We still
better.
use cards, okay?
Kinda.
I mean, this one doesn't have a security chip in it for some reason, but I'm sure.
Well, that just means you slide it, Darren.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Wait, it's not going to beep at me if I don't take it out within the half microsecond between when I finish my transaction and I need to put it back? Look, guys, look. Okay, I'm not saying that Far or What We Left Behind stole from Star Trek Communicator issue 106, circa April 1996, but How to Write for Star Trek, that's basically what we just saw, is them sitting in the writer's room.
That's great. That's furniture for the future there.
And look, even the whiteboard, it looks the same. It's all got different color text on it. I don't think they shot anything new.
What are they writing there?
They are discussing the Star Trek plot.
That was my favorite one.
It's Ron Moore, Renee, Brandon Braga, Naren, and Jerry Taylor.
So it's got to be
Voyager
then, right? Yeah.
Well, considering Neelix is on the cover, I can see right there.
Oh, yeah, look at him.
Well, they're saying they're talking about a Star Trek The Next Generation plot in Taylor's office. That's what I'm just reading what the caption
about how
says,
they're going to use that
it's
for Voyager? Because that happened.
It must be a Q episode.
Or just an old picture. And I like their use of fonts. Don't do what you can't do. Submit a professional script. Okay, anyway. But no, I think.
By the way, I'm sorry, so because we were way too young. Well, I mean, I'm sure we could have still done it, but considering there's
no Philip, we were
there's a bazillion Star Trek shows. why can't one of them have spec scripts?
Go back to spec scripts?
Have a script submission. I mean, it doesn't be all of them. I get it, because, it's a professional class.
Because Alex Peters would send something every week. It's the exact same script until it gets accepted.
But I just think that's a cool, like, you don't even have to, you don't even have to use them. But, like, I think it's always get the people excited.
My practical guess is because we're super long form story now that having a spec script
you're telling
jump
me that
in the middle of that is difficult.
The Below Decks cartoon is going to have a hard arc.
Okay, probably not that one, but that's a good point. I don't know. It could be interesting. I mean, I have no stake in the game, so of course I'd say that that's totally fine. But
they don't want to mix with us common folk. This is a new.
My guess is they just don't want to have to share the money with anybody outside their circle.
Well, whatever. They're only gonna. It's not even going to be your story at the end. They're going to edit it so much,
They're just going to Nick Locarno you, and then you won't get any money ever again for their new series about your beloved.
Because then, I mean, one of the articles could be how do you, how would you submit a script? How does it look like? And because it's an exercise in grooming.
I told you, self-return envelope to P.O. Box.
It's also tremendously easier to do it nowadays. So, like, people would just copy and paste stuff into the submission instead of having to mail things.
Are we gonna get another Bodie McBoat face? Is what you're saying? They're just gonna be spamming the entry field, and it's all gonna just be downhill from there.
Because I think the cool thing about Star Trek, many cool things, but it motivates people. Whether it's I watched Star Trek and became a scientist, but like writers, it's like hey, I wrote Star Trek scripts and I submitted scripts, and then 10 years from now you're writing for maybe some other TV show that's not Star Trek, but it gives you that vehicle, literally and figuratively, of how to start that. So,
10 years from now, you're rebooting Babylon, or not Babylon.
You could.
Battlestar Galactica. Is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, maybe not. But no, it's interesting. I mean, again, like I said in the very beginning, a lot of this is stuff we obviously still have access to. I mean, heck, Memory Alpha in itself is just a cornucopia of information, and has helped prove many a nerd right in the clutch. But it's just interesting to see the format and what they had to go with, for just kind of dosing out little bits of Star Trek. And I mean, I love Star Trek Communicator. I loved picking up those articles, seeing those full pictures, blueprints.
Did they have any other dedicated also, sections or columns?
Oh, let's see. We had... Oh, look, more checks. Hey, got to start with those Star Trek checks. No, they always had, holodeck adventures, personnel file. They usually had something about technology. Maybe they could talk about the Spore Drive.
They could talk to a current mushroom scientist.
Talk about a couple episodes.
And he's just like, or she is just like, yeah, that's BS. I don't know what they're talking about.
And then at the end, at the very last page, you had the club classifieds. Lots of P.O. boxes here. Lots of so many.
Wait, like what? What is it? Club
classifieds, like For Sales and Wanted and Pen Pals, like single white male 28 Star Trek Next Generation lover biology student seeks pen pal around the world to discuss matters of exobiology, real and in Star Trek universe. Please write to, and someone from Switzerland. Or For Sale, Star Trek telephone calling cards from England for sale. Send inquiries to... Man, okay, you've convinced me, Daniel. This is not the wave of the future.
Though I don't know, you say that. Like, where is... I mean, yes, eBay, Amazon, I get it. But, like, there's... eBay, I guess, but, like, your own stuff. So, I don't know.
Like, For Sale, a huge selection of Star Trek Galoob, Megalo, and Playmates figures and accessories, including blue-faced Data. What the heck was blue-faced Data?
What sounds like an error.
Yeah. Red Data, Thomas Riker, Soleil, Ferengi.
Sela. Or the Soleil.
The Greek. Enterprise B. Over 40 errors and very... Okay, so there are a lot of
I got all the messed up stuff. Who wants it?
Oh, and plates. Some very rare. 1992 Hallmark promo mobile. But yeah, no, I think they would often have, little behind-the-scenes things and writers' things, and they'd focus on one episode specifically and take us through it.
Yeah, because that's, again, I hate to keep using my thing, but like in Doctor Who, they will monthly, they'll take an episode, and I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason of whether it's a new Who or a classic, but they'll sort of do like a, it's probably like 2 or 3 pages, but they'll like go into it, so it'll be like summary, what happened, and then it'll be some like behind-the-scenes talk. And then summary of what happened, like that, like in zoom in about what happened, and there'd be pictures. Then maybe have like a sub article about some special thing about that episode. So,
that's true.
I mean, I want our Sub Rosa.
It's interesting to see what they give
focus.
us. Oh gosh,
no thanks.
No. Maybe not. But yeah, no, I think.
And also, sorry, and they may do this in Star Trek the magazine,
okay.
so this may still be. But like another thing in Doctor Who Monthly, they'll have the cosplay stuff, but they'll also have how to build. Well, generally speaking, how to like do a specific cosplay. So you could find some cool Star Trek of like how do you do a Romulan, or how do you do a whatever. How do you do these impossible Discovery uniforms?
Yeah, that's true, because, I mean, cosplay wasn't even really a thing back then. Yeah. So to see, what came about, or just give options, how to make your own comm badge, or...
Like working, or... Because, I feel like the comm badge, much like the sonic screwdriver, seems to do anything. Like, if you're captured, and you're like, they'll just pry open the comm badge, and inside is magic device that will magic, and then we'll
we can overload it to destroy these shields.
We can send a beacon. We can make fries. We can do anything.
Yeah, just use the reverse the polarity and
does anyone have some sort of thin device, a hairpin possibly?
Oh, I happen to have one.
Yes. Okay. Well, maybe history is better left remembered and not recreated.
Here's a question.
But it's often
if they
fun
had
to do
put
memory
in
lanes.
1997 put in a Star Trek time capsule, like fans, to open it now, what would be cool to open up, like in the Orville episode? What would be cool to open up and you could find? So it'd be
from which year? From 97?
Yes. So it'd be issues of the Communicator. What else would you? What else would you want to know?
Like ticket stubs for First Contact.
That's right. A free pass to Star Trek: The Experience.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a photo from their photo booth, or they probably have like those ride photos.
A cassette of the soundtrack to Star Trek: First Contact. I'm not just talking about things that are in my room right now. So.
Yeah,
sounds like you have it. You live.
I lived
in a time capsule.
I know. I could tell you. Much like, I'm just also thinking about things you can no longer use. It's like I have a VCR still. I mean, it's a DVD VCR thing, and my wife makes fun of me. But like, I don't care. I'm gonna have that. But cassettes, I have like what some people have, the sort of turntable, CD player. Cassette player. Luckily that's still surviving, but I think that's not, those old cassettes aren't going to be of any use. Unplayable.
Yeah, I think it's just, unless you're sending a player along with the, the medium, it's like, how are they going to play it? If it's really far in the future, I'll say, but all right, well, that was a fun, nostalgic tour back to the era of print media.
Remember
some people
when we used to write things
don't
down
appreciate
and
it
read
as much.
them?
Yeah, we're way past that with we just telepathically communicate information.
Like the Telosians.
Now, Darren, before you close things out, I was expecting to talk about this earlier, but can I bring things back to 2019 just for a quick second?
Okay. Let me.
Okay,
now
we're
we're
solar
back.
powered, eating our cubes of food.
So I went to last weekend. I had some friends in town, and I was expecting to tell the story in the beginning when you usually ask us what sort of Star Trek excitement we had, but we jumped right into like cassette players and mail-in rebates.
Don't forget the
Laser
checks,
discs.
the novelty checks.
So we went to Dave and Buster's.
Yes.
And Dave and Buster's has a brand new VR.
Yes.
I guess you'd call it experience. And it's called Star Trek Dark Remnant. Have you heard about this?
I've heard about it. I've seen it advertised.
No.
Yeah. So I just looked it up because I was curious about how old it was. And it apparently is very new, as in like a few months old. It feels like something that came out of 2009, but I'll tell you why. But so I played this Star Trek VR game at Dave & Buster's. And, for what it was, a quick 10-minute experience, it was pretty fun. It wasn't bad. You get in there, you put your glasses on, and you got your phaser.
Is it basically like the bridge simulator distilled down into a arcade game?
Not a bridge simulator, because the only thing you can do is shoot your phaser. Basically, what happens is you're in an asteroid field. So it takes place on 2009 Enterprise, on JJ Enterprise, and they have a Zachary Quinto sound-alike who is the one who's.
How do you know it's not Zachary Quinto?
Oh,
It totally
you
could
can
be.
tell it's not Zachary Quinto, and he's the one giving all the
Hi, I'm
instructions.
Spock, everyone. You may recognize me from such.
And that's why I say it feels like it's from 2010 because it's like it's the original Kelvin Enterprise and all this sort of stuff. And there's nothing of substance that happens. Basically, the Enterprise is disabled by an asteroid field, and the Klingons show up. So you're in this like tiny pod with your hand phaser, and you have to protect the Enterprise.
Don't
with your
get
hand
cocky,
phaser.
Ensign.
So but it wasn't bad. It was kind of fun, You get points and stuff, and the thing shakes and blows air in your face and stuff. So it's it's about
Do
what
rocks
you'd
fall on
expect.
your head?
You get a 4D experience. Is what you're saying?
Yeah. So it was okay, but it was weird because it felt like this is something I would have seen for a promotion for 2009 Star Trek, and I'm like, this just came out. It was kind of
Maybe just
bizarre.
Maybe it was meant to correspond with the fourth movie coming out or something.
Well, I think
like
VR,
that.
VR technology has always been like, here it is, and you're like, really? That seems like something that should have come out 5 years ago. Like,
We're so fickle.
Yeah, we are. It was fun. It was actually me and my girlfriend, and I would look over. It's so funny. VR is so silly sometimes, but like I would look over at her, and you could tell she was looking at me because it tracked your head movement and stuff like that. But her hands were all like going through the console and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. It was good for a 10-minute. I don't know if it was worth $6 for 10 minutes or whatever it was, but that's the newest Star Trek experience that I've had. I just needed to cleanse my mind of all sorts of paper and magazine subscriptions and
board games.
Yeah, and board games.
Now,
and highlights, the magazine, and Goofus and Gallant, and all that sort of stuff.
Oh God! Wow! Going there. It's going there, everyone.
Wait. So when I go back to Star Trek: The Communicator, it's all.
Can you spot the difference?
This is so boring, Darren. I can't believe we're talking about it. But now we're doing Goofus and Gallant. Wow.
Now I want the Star Trek Goofus and Gallant. Like he cleans up after his replicator.
It's mirror.
He says thank you to his replicator when it makes something for him.
It's mirror Lorca and regular Lorca.
Okay, so speaking,
Otherwise known as Goofus and
so
Gallant.
speaking of bad voiceovers and 21st century Star Trek games, right before we started recording, I was playing Star Trek Online, which, as I mentioned a couple weeks before, has a Discovery theme now. And every time I play Star Trek Online, which is not often, so this is maybe I'm at fault. But every time I play it, because it's so seldom, I have to sit for a 30-minute patch for a game. So anyway, but that happened the other day. So I'm like, okay, well, new stuff, and the new stuff is a Lorca / Landry adventure. So I was playing that. Ooh. It is a not Jason Isaacs as Lorca. I know.
What?
I know. They had to get someone else to pretend to be an American. But,
Did he keep saying, my eyes, they're so photosensitive?
But, for all the grief I give about Discovery, I have to say, Star Trek Online, plus 5 stars for their Discovery content. It is actually pretty cool. I do like it. Because, I was just playing the, Lorca ship. Like, his no.
The Glenn.
No,
the one before the
Baran. It's the Baran. It's where the Baran gets lost. I was just playing that adventure. And then we've just... there was one escape pod.
Did you save the Baran?
And there was one
Philip?
escape pod, so we had rescued Lorca. Now we were landing on a planet, and so I was playing that. So it was pretty cool. So I recommend that if you haven't been playing Star Trek Online, even if you do love Discovery, even if you don't love Discovery, I'm here for the Discovery content.
Because it's free now, right?
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Free to play.
That's awesome. Just hold shift. It'll always make things better. All right. Well, next week we're going to be talking about something amazing, Daniel. What is it going to be?
Oh, just you wait.
It's going to be something 21st century. We know that.
Or even beyond. We talk a lot about the future in this show. So.
Oh, we're talking about the third Star Trek movie by JJ?
Star Trek Beyond. I get it. Nice. No, no, probably not. No. Well, I'll come up with something. It'll be something fun. So...
All right. Well, if someone wanted to talk to you about your Starfleet checks and your backdrop, where would they find you, Daniel?
Well, they wouldn't. Because I haven't used a check in I don't know, ever probably. But they could ask me about why. I suppose on Twitter @OneUpDan. That's the number 1, not the word.
And Philip, if someone wanted to talk to you about faxing in your order. For the catalog in the middle. Where would they find you?
I had to pay the lawn guy with a check the other day, so they still exist. They can find me on Twitter.
Not according to
he doesn't have
You didn't have to. There were plenty of ways for you to not pay the lawn guy.
Yeah, I'm going to go to an ATM and, pay him cash. But anyway, you can find me at Twitter at NC Public Servant.
And if someone wanted to talk to me about my pewter action figure collection and commemorative decorative wall plates, they could find me on Twitter, Instagram under username Dr. Sci-Fi, DRSCIFI. I'm Darren Moser.
I'm Philip Gilfus.
I'm Daniel Prue.
Stranded here in 1996 on SETI Alpha 3.